For the next 24 hours, I want you to become aware of the voice that speaks when no one is listening, the one that narrates your life in silence. That voice is not background noise. It is the invisible architect of your reality. Every word you utter in your mind is a command, every thought a brushstroke on the canvas of your destiny. You've spoken yourself into pain, into doubt, into limitation, not because you wanted to, but because you never realized how powerful your inner speech truly is. The truth is, you are never talking to yourself, you are always talking into your future. The way you describe yourself becomes the way life must treat you. The energy you hold in your inner dialogue becomes the atmosphere you breathe tomorrow. So for just one day, 24 deliberate hours, I dare you to speak to yourself as the person you've always wanted to become. Speak as the healed, not the hurting. Speak as the loved, not the abandoned. Speak as the blessed, not the broken. Don't beg the world to change. Command your world by changing the voice within. If your words can break you, they can also build you. The power that made the stars listens to what you say about yourself. The moment you change your inner conversation, the entire universe begins to move in your favor. For 24 hours, talk like everything you desire is already yours, and watch how reality bends to agree. The inner voice is the creator. Every single thing you are living right now, every victory, every delay, every blessing, and every challenge, is the echo of a conversation you once had with yourself. The invisible talk that ran through your mind yesterday became the visible experience you're standing in today. Life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The inner voice you allow to speak freely in the quiet corners of your mind is the author of your story, and it writes with words you barely notice. That voice is not weak, it is creative. It is law. It is shaping the texture of your life with precision, responding to the tone and truth you whisper in silence. You can pray, visualize, or plan, but if your inner speech contradicts your desire, the inner voice will always win. Because it is not what you hope for, it is what you inwardly declare that becomes flesh. Most people underestimate how much they are speaking themselves into limitation. They use words like, I can't, I'm not ready, I always fail, I'm unlucky. Those words seem harmless, but they are not empty. They are seeds being planted in the subconscious soil of creation. The mind does not argue, it obeys. It takes your inner conversation as instruction. If you tell yourself you're not good enough, your life will organize itself to prove you right. If you tell yourself abundance is hard to reach, you will only see closed doors. But when you begin to speak from faith, when your inner dialogue becomes a sanctuary of power instead of a battlefield of doubt, the entire vibration of your being shifts. You start attracting experiences that match the sound of your belief. Your inner voice becomes a magnet that pulls your outer life into agreement with it. For just 24 hours, observe the way you talk to yourself. Catch the thoughts that belittle you. Listen to the inner words that repeat pain or unworthiness. Don't fight them, replace them. Speak to yourself as a creator would. Speak with authority, not fear. Say, I am capable, I am chosen, I am worthy, I am guided, I am powerful. These are not affirmations, they are reminders of who you truly are beneath the noise of doubt. When you speak with certainty, something happens. The atmosphere within you begins to align with that truth. Your heart softens, your posture changes, your energy rises. The world, without even knowing why, starts responding to you differently. People treat you according to how you treat yourself in your own mind. Understand this deeply. Your imagination and your self-talk are not two separate things. They are one process of creation. What you tell yourself, you begin to see. What you see within, you eventually touch without. This is why some people seem to live under constant struggle, while others walk with unseen favor. It's not luck, it's language. It's not chance, it's conversation. The universe echoes back to you the tone of your inner voice. If you are filled with complaint, life mirrors resistance. If you are filled with gratitude, life multiplies goodness. If you speak from lack, you remain lacking. But if you speak from fullness, abundance appears naturally. The external world is nothing but a mirror to the inner dialogue that you keep replaying. Think of your inner voice as divine technology, a constant transmitter sending frequencies to the universe. Every time you say, I am tired, I am stuck, I am not enough, you broadcast limitation. Every time you say, I am expanding, I am favored, I am becoming more, you broadcast growth. The frequency you send determines the experience you receive. For years you may have spoken unconsciously, letting fear narrate your life. But the moment you take back control of your words, you take back control of your world. Silence the critic within. Fire the voice of doubt. Replace it with the voice of vision. Speak to yourself not as you are, but as you are becoming. Remember, creation doesn't start with action, it starts with conversation. The invisible precedes the visible. The world you see is only a reflection of the world you speak when no one is around. If you want to see change, don't look outward first. Go inward and rewrite the script. Instead of saying, I'll never find peace, say, peace finds me everywhere I go. Instead of saying, I always lose opportunities, say, everything meant for me arrives with perfect timing. Don't describe what is, declare what will be. Don't keep repeating the past, announce your future. The inner voice is the creator, and it obeys the direction you give it. When you master the language of your own mind, you become unstoppable. You stop reacting to circumstances and start commanding them. You no longer wait for signs, you become the sign. You no longer hope for proof, you become the proof. Speak with conviction, not curiosity. Speak from the end, not about the end. Speak as though your desires have already happened, and watch how the unseen world begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Reality cannot resist the one who has made peace with their inner voice. For just 24 hours, dare to speak differently. Talk to yourself as if your words were magic, because they are. Imagine that every sentence you say within is painting your future in real time. Refuse to complain, refuse to doubt, refuse to speak defeat. Instead, speak victory, speak grace, speak light. And when the day ends, look around. You'll notice something subtle but undeniable. Life will begin to listen. People will shift. Energy will open. Paths will appear. Because once you change the voice within, the world without has no choice but to obey. The inner voice is not just a thought. It is the creator in disguise, waiting for you to speak heaven into being. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. There is a sacred moment in creation where you no longer ask for what you want. You begin to become it. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled means to live inwardly as though your desire were already accomplished. It is not pretending. It is not lying to yourself. It is stepping into the reality where your wish is already fact. This is the secret law behind manifestation. You do not receive what you want, you receive what you are. The outer world is simply a shadow of your inner vibration. When you feel yourself as the person who already possesses what you long for, life begins to move in obedience to that vibration. Everything around you rearranges to match your internal assumption. The world bends to the tone of your inner certainty. The mistake most people make is waiting for evidence before they feel complete. They believe that joy comes after the result, peace comes after the answer, confidence comes after the victory. But the truth is, nothing outside of you can fulfill a state that you have not first accepted within. When you say, I'll be happy when I achieve this, you postpone your miracle. You remain in a state of longing, and longing can only reproduce itself. But when you boldly declare within, it is done. When you move and think and breathe from the feeling of completion, the universe rushes to prove you right. The unseen world does not respond to begging, it responds to belief. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to stop thinking about your desire and begin thinking from it. You are no longer the one who hopes to receive. You are the one who has already received. The difference is subtle but powerful. You no longer visualize from lack but from abundance. When you think from the end, every word, every action, and every emotion begins to align with the reality you have chosen. The people you meet, the opportunities that appear, even the timing of events, all start reflecting that inner conviction. It's as if the world itself recognizes your certainty and rushes to complete the picture you are painting from within. Imagine you are holding a dream in your heart. A healed relationship, financial freedom, inner peace, a creative success. Instead of asking, when will it happen? Begin asking, how would it feel if it had already happened? Feel that emotion now. Let it flood your being. Smile as though it's already yours. Walk with the posture of fulfillment. Breathe the air of answered prayers. Every cell in your body will respond. You will feel lighter, calmer, stronger, and somehow more real. Because in that state of assumption, you are vibrating in harmony with the future that already exists in potential form. Creation is finished. Every possibility that can exist already exists. You are not waiting for it to be created. You are aligning yourself to the version of reality where it already is. Your assumption is the bridge between unseen possibility and visible reality. When you claim it inwardly, when you feel it as truth, you shift dimensions. You step from waiting into being. The law is precise. If you persist in the assumption long enough, the outer world must mirror it. It is not your duty to figure out how it will happen. The how is none of your business. Your only responsibility is to sustain the inner feeling of already having it. That feeling is your prayer, your magnet, your code to the universe. When doubt tries to whisper, "But I don't see it yet," remember, faith begins where sight ends. The feeling of the wish fulfilled does not rely on evidence, it creates evidence. Your senses will eventually catch up to what your spirit already knows. Every delay is just the outer world taking time to rearrange itself according to your new inner state. Stay loyal to the unseen, and the seen must bow. Speak from the end, think from the end, feel from the end. This is how you command life instead of chasing it. If you assume the feeling for even 24 hours, you will begin to see subtle miracles unfold. People will speak words that affirm your desire. Unexpected doors will open. Coincidences will align with perfect timing. These are not accidents. They are confirmations that the invisible has started to materialize. Your world is always mirroring your state of being. Change the state, and the mirror must change. This is why you must protect your inner feeling like sacred fire. Don't allow fear, doubt, or negative influence to dim it. Guard it as you would guard your life, because your feeling is your life. It is the blueprint of everything you are about to live. Assume that you are already the version of yourself that has everything you desire. Feel the confidence of that person, the peace, the gratitude. Speak as they would speak. Walk as they would walk. Let the inner movie of your mind play scenes of completion, not struggle. You are not faking it. You are becoming it. The subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. It simply accepts what you consistently feel as true. The moment you feel it, it begins to express it. So live now from that vibration. You are not waiting for the miracle. You are the miracle in motion. And when the outer world catches up, and it will, you will smile quietly, not in surprise, but in recognition, because you knew. You knew that the moment you assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the result became inevitable. Reality had no choice but to follow. The universe cannot deny the one who walks as though the promise is already kept. Speak from the end, live from the end, and soon, the end will meet you in the middle. The wish is not somewhere far away. It is already within you, waiting for you to feel it into existence. Replace doubt with divine certainty. Doubt is the quiet thief of miracles. It walks into the mind dressed as logic, whispering questions that sound wise but carry fear. It makes you analyze what should be trusted and delay what should already be done. Doubt is subtle. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and in those whispers, it steals your power. Every great change begins with a belief, but every lost opportunity begins with hesitation. The human mind can hold faith or fear, but never both at once. The moment you entertain doubt, you push away the very thing that was coming toward you. The moment you stand in certainty, the unseen world rushes to obey you. You were never meant to live in confusion. You were designed to create with clarity. When you replace doubt with divine certainty, you stop negotiating with your destiny. You stop waiting for signs, and you start becoming the sign. Faith is not hoping something might happen. It is knowing that it must. It's the quiet conviction that even if you don't see the way is already forming beneath your feet. The universe responds to the one who walks as though they cannot lose. Life bends for those who carry unwavering trust in the unseen. You may not have evidence yet, but evidence always arrives after belief. Faith plants the seed, patience waters it, and time reveals the bloom. But doubt digs it up before it can grow. Your words, your emotions, your posture, they all tell the world what you believe about yourself. If you speak uncertainty, you call chaos. If you speak confidence, you call order. Every time you repeat the words, I don't know if it will work, you vibrate at the frequency of indecision. The universe reflects that vibration right back to you by withholding clarity. But when you declare, it is already working for me, you speak the language of divine law. You give permission to the invisible to move on your behalf. The energy you release through your certainty becomes a command, and creation cannot ignore command. For 24 hours, live as if doubt does not exist. Every time a fearful thought arises, interrupt it. Replace it instantly with faith. When your mind says, what if I fail? Respond, what if I fly? When it whispers, what if they don't believe in me? Say, I believe in me. And that's enough. When fear says, what if it doesn't work? Answer, it's already working. Speak as though heaven itself is listening. Because it is. Every time you choose trust over panic, you move closer to the life that's waiting for you. Every time you speak faith, you create a new energetic pathway that draws miracles toward you. Understand this. Divine certainty isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's the recognition that you are connected to a force that cannot fail. When you stop relying on your limited understanding and start relying on that higher knowing within you, life begins to flow effortlessly. Things that once required struggle begin to unfold with grace. Doors that were once locked open before you even knock. Certainty makes you magnetic. It changes the way you move, the way you speak, the way you are seen. You become calm, not because you have control, but because you trust the one who does. Doubt is the voice of separation. Certainty is the voice of unity. Doubt says, I am alone. Certainty says, I am guided. Doubt says, I must figure everything out. Certainty says, everything is already figured out. The moment you choose divine certainty, you stop forcing and start flowing. You stop begging for outcomes and start commanding them. You move from desperation to dominion. The same power that created galaxies lives in you. And when you remember that, fear dissolves like fog under sunlight. You don't need to know how, you only need to know that it will. The mind will always test your belief. Life will send moments that appear uncertain just to see if you will remain certain. Don't be shaken. Hold your center. You cannot be tested on what you haven't declared. Every challenge that arises after you've chosen faith is not punishment. It's proof that the universe is rearranging itself to match your new vibration. The old energy will try to pull you back into doubt, but remember, you can't receive what you've already contradicted. Stay still in trust. Even when things look opposite, even when the evidence seems delayed, hold the vision, not the noise. Certainty has a sound, and it silences storms. When you speak with divine certainty, your words become law to your own life. You don't plead, you proclaim. You don't wait, you align. You don't chase, you attract. Faith doesn't beg for validation, it carries quiet authority. When you truly know that you are guided, even closed doors feel like protection, not rejection. You begin to see divine timing in every delay. You recognize blessings disguised as detours. The one who trusts cannot be broken, because they know everything is happening for them, not to them. For just one day, dare to think, speak, and move with absolute certainty. Don't analyze, affirm. Don't worry, worship through gratitude. Don't question, declare. Let your energy say, I am unshakable. Feel what it's like to live without the heaviness of doubt. To walk through your day as if your dreams were already delivered. You'll notice a peace you haven't felt in years. You'll breathe easier. Your mind will grow quieter. The atmosphere around you will shift, and people will respond to your energy without even knowing why. Because certainty glows. It radiates. It transforms. Doubt is small talk with fear. Certainty is conversation with destiny. For too long, you've entertained both. Now choose one. Speak the language of faith until it becomes your native tongue. Trust that everything you desire is already set in motion. And the next time doubt knocks, remember who you are. The one who commands reality with their belief. When you replace doubt with divine certainty, you don't chase miracles, you become one. Speak from the end, not about the end. There's a sacred difference between speaking about your desire and speaking from it. When you speak about what you want, you acknowledge that it's not yet yours. You speak as someone waiting, hoping, yearning. But when you speak from the end, you shift dimensions. You enter the state of fulfillment and speak as one who already stands in victory. This single change, from asking to announcing, from wishing to embodying, transforms your entire vibration. The world is a mirror, and it reflects not what you say, but where you say it from. The tone of your speech tells the universe whether you are living in lack or in completion. When you speak from the end, you command the forces of creation to recognize you as the finished version of yourself. To speak from the end is to declare, "It is done," not as a statement of arrogance, but as one of alignment. You stop talking like someone reaching, and you start talking like someone remembering. You stop asking, "When?" and start affirming, "Now." This is the hidden code behind manifestation. You must mentally occupy the place your desire already exists before it appears physically. When your inner language begins to match the frequency of completion, everything external starts shifting to make that language true. Life cannot argue with conviction, it must obey it. The unseen listens more to your inner tone than to your outer words. Most people unknowingly delay their own manifestations by constantly describing the gap between where they are and where they wish to be. They say, "I'm trying to be successful," or "I hope things change soon." But in that language lies the vibration of separation. You are affirming the distance, not the destination. You're telling the universe, "I'm not there yet." And the universe says, "As you wish." But the moment you begin to speak as though the thing has already happened, you compress time. You erase the distance between now and next. You start living in the atmosphere of completion, and reality adjusts to match it. Imagine how a person who already has what you desire would speak, walk, and carry themselves. They wouldn't speak from tension, they would speak from gratitude. They wouldn't say, "I'm waiting for it." They'd say, "I'm grateful it's here." They wouldn't beg for blessings. They would bless others because they know they're already blessed. That's the vibration of speaking from the end. It's not about pretending, it's about embodying. Pretending feels forced, embodying feels peaceful. Pretending says, "I'm trying to believe." Embodying says, "I already know." The difference is everything. When you speak from the end, you begin to attract confirmation after confirmation that what you said is already real in the unseen. You'll notice coincidences, synchronicities, gentle signs, and timely alignments. That's life echoing back your inner conviction. The outer world always listens to the tone of your inner voice. When your self-talk carries the rhythm of fulfillment, you activate the law of reflection. It's not magic, it's alignment. The world outside you is simply mirroring the state you sustain inside you. Speak as though you've already arrived, and soon you will. Speaking from the end also requires discipline. Your senses will try to argue with you. Your mind will point out facts that say it's not done yet. But creation doesn't begin with facts. It begins with faith. The unseen always precedes the seen. If you only speak from what you can observe, you'll remain trapped by what already is. But if you dare to speak from what will be, you invite the future into the present. The universe does not reward hesitation. It responds to certainty. Speak boldly. Speak from vision, not validation. Speak as the author, not the audience. Let your conversations carry the energy of completion. When someone asks how things are going, don't repeat problems. Announce progress. Say, "Everything is aligning for me. Things are unfolding perfectly. The outcome is already mine." Those aren't empty affirmations. They're energetic declarations. They are signals to your subconscious mind that you have chosen your reality. The more you speak from the end, the faster your mind rewires itself to believe it. The subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's experienced. It simply accepts repetition as truth. And once it accepts, the outer world must conform. For 24 hours, try this experiment. Speak from the end. If you're healing, don't say, "I'm trying to get better." Say, "I am whole and restored." If you're working towards success, don't say, "I hope it works out." Say, "Everything I touch prospers." If you're searching for peace, don't say, I'm tired of chaos. Say, peace is my constant state. Every time you speak, choose the language of completion. Don't describe the storm. Describe the calm beyond it. Don't speak about pain. Speak from healing. Don't narrate your waiting. Narrate your arrival. Your words are bridges. Build from the end, and the beginning will follow. There is divine power in declaring what already is before it's visible. This is the same law that governs creation itself. The word comes first, and manifestation follows. In the silence of your own being, you hold the authority to call things that are not as though they were. But this only works when you feel the truth behind your words. Emotion fuels manifestation. When you speak with gratitude, confidence, and peace, you are transmitting power. When you speak with fear, hesitation, or disbelief, you are scattering it. That's why speaking from the end feels so magnetic. It carries the energy of completion, and completion attracts reflection. When you finally understand this, you realize you don't need to convince anyone, not even yourself. You simply need to assume the state of fulfillment so completely that nothing outside you can make you doubt it. That is real power. Quiet, unshakable, divine. You walk differently. You speak differently. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop waiting for proof because you are the proof. Every cell in your body begins to vibrate with alignment, and life, being an obedient mirror, rushes to meet you there. So today, stop talking about what you want and start speaking from the place where it's already done. End your prayers not with pleading, but with praise. End your thoughts not with worry, but with assurance. End your sentences not with doubt, but with declaration. The world responds to those who speak from the end because they've already arrived internally. Speak from completion, and completion will reveal itself to you. Because the moment you speak from the end begins. The world is your echo. Everything that happens around you, every person you meet, every circumstance you face, every blessing or betrayal that crosses your path, is not random. It is an echo of what you've been speaking, feeling, and believing within yourself. Life is not shouting at you. It is whispering back what you have been saying in silence. The world does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your vibration. What you hold as true in your inner world becomes mirrored in your outer one. You are surrounded by reflections of your own frequency. The unkind person, the delay, the opportunity, the miracle. They are all mirrors showing you the language you've been speaking to yourself when no one was listening. The world is not your enemy, and it's not your savior. It's your echo. It repeats what you broadcast. If you constantly talk about how people can't be trusted, you'll attract situations that confirm that belief. If you affirm that abundance always finds you, life will echo it through unexpected blessings. Your experiences are feedback, not punishment. They are teachers revealing your inner dialogue. When you change the story within, the echo outside begins to shift. The law is simple: you cannot receive from life what you have not declared within. Every event is answering a call you made, even unconsciously. Think about it. When you wake up in gratitude, everything around you feels lighter. When you wake up complaining, everything feels heavy. The outer doesn't change, your inner dialogue does. That's the power you carry. You can turn a storm into peace just by changing your tone. You can turn loneliness into connection by changing your inner speech from "no one understands me" to "the right people are drawn to me effortlessly." The echo of life doesn't argue. It agrees. It's not cruel, it's precise. It amplifies whatever melody you play in the silence of your soul. For just one day, watch the echo. Pay attention to what the world is saying back to you. Do your interactions mirror peace or frustration? Does your environment reflect faith or fear? The people who enter your space are often answering your vibration. You attract mirrors of your mindset, allies for your growth or reminders for your correction. The universe is never against you, it's always educating you. When life keeps repeating certain patterns, it's not coincidence, it's communication. The echo is asking, do you still want to live in this frequency? If not, change your internal dialogue, and the external will follow. Your inner world is like a microphone, and reality is the speaker. What you whisper within gets amplified without. If you speak love to yourself, the world will start speaking love back. If you carry resentment, you'll hear echoes of conflict everywhere you go. Every time you say, "Nothing ever works out for me," life responds, as you say. Every time you say, "Everything always works in my favor," life replies, "Indeed." The echo doesn't choose, it simply repeats. So the question isn't why the world is loud. It's why you've been whispering what you don't want to hear. To master your life, master your inner conversation. Replace complaint with command. Replace fear with faith. Replace doubt with decree. When you change the sound you release, you change the echo you receive. This is not pretending, it's creating. You are the cause, the world is the effect. When you start to think and speak from power, life begins to echo back harmony. Your relationships become mirrors of love instead of pain. Your opportunities become mirrors of faith instead of lack. Your circumstances start carrying the rhythm of your belief. The echo can't resist transformation once the source changes. The beauty of this truth is that you don't need to fix the outer world. You don't need to chase approval, force outcomes, or fight resistance. The echo takes care of itself. You only need to fix the inner sound. When the vibration within you becomes one of peace, confidence, and worthiness, the external noise softens naturally. People treat you differently. Events flow differently. You begin to notice divine timing, effortless coincidences, and doors opening without effort. The world starts mirroring the calm you've cultivated inside. The outer chaos fades because the inner voice found harmony. Even the painful echoes have purpose. When betrayal repeats, it's asking you to speak more truth to yourself. When disappointment echoes back, it's showing you where you've been speaking unworthiness. Every negative reflection is an invitation, not a punishment. It's life saying, "You're powerful enough to rewrite this frequency." And when you do, when you start affirming, "I am chosen, I am worthy, I am protected, I am enough," the echo shifts. People begin respecting you. Circumstances start aligning. Opportunities begin appearing out of nowhere. It's not magic, it's you meeting your own reflection at a higher vibration. So speak carefully, not out of fear, but out of awareness. Every word you say to yourself plants a seed in the garden of experience. If you plant doubt, you harvest delay. If you plant gratitude, you harvest grace. If you plant love, you harvest connection. The echo doesn't discriminate between good or bad, it simply amplifies what's sound. That's why inner speech is sacred. You are speaking to the creative essence of the universe every time you think, feel, or affirm. You are in conversation with your own reflection, and it listens with perfect memory. For 24 hours, make your inner voice your masterpiece. Speak to yourself as the healed, the successful, the loved, the guided. Talk as if the echo already sings your name with favor. Feel the shift within. Feel how your body softens, how your mind quiets, how your heart opens. You'll notice almost immediately that life begins to echo differently. A stranger's kindness, a sudden opportunity, a message at the perfect time. These are your new echoes returning home. You didn't chase them, you called them. Because in truth, the world has never been against you. It has only ever been reflecting you. You don't change the echo by screaming at the mountain. You change it by changing the sound you send out. You don't fix the reflection by polishing the mirror. You fix it by transforming the image. The moment you elevate your inner language, life rises to meet your tone. Speak abundance, and abundance echoes. Speak peace, and peace answers. Speak victory, and victory becomes your theme. The world is your echo, and it is waiting for you to sing a new song.